What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Miss Polished Opinion production. A Miss Polished Opinion production. A Miss Polished Opinion production. A Miss Polished Opinion production. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. I'd like to say welcome back to myself. This is the first time I'm recording a video in probably a month. I took a accidental on purpose break. I jumped into a course for work, and because I get a little bit of tunnel vision, I was just focusing on that. But I'm nearing the end of the course, and I miss the camera. I miss talking to my people. I miss just sharing, and I miss sharing my videos. So today I decided I wanted to create a t-shirt. I was inspired by watching King Richard, and of course the Beyonce song that comes with it, Be Alive. And there's a lyric or a line in the song that I want to make into a t-shirt. So I decided, let's jump in front of the camera, do a little cricketing, and share my top 10 most learned tips, or top 10 tips and things I learned since I started my cricketing journey. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so right now I am just setting up the shirt I'm going to be using for this HTV project, and I wanted to jump right into the first thing I learned. So tip number 1, not all vinyl is the same. So I don't know about you, but when I decide I'm going to jump into a project, I research like crazy. And thanks to the World Wide Web, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Google, there's a plethora of information. So you can quickly and very easily go down a rabbit hole about what's the best. TechCrap, Cricut, Oracle, Caesar. There's Dollar Tree brands, Amazon brands, Canadian brands, whatever. There's, again, you can go down a rabbit hole very quickly of what is the best vinyl. And so far, I've really only experienced the Cricut brand and Oracle. I think Caesar. Yeah. Is it Caesar? Anyway, I've probably experienced about 3. I could check my drawer, but I don't want to check it right now. I'll just confirm as we go along. And I realized that it's true. Not all vinyl is the same. So obviously, it makes it hard when you're a beginner, because you obviously want to invest your money and invest your time in what's going to work best for what you do. And the worst part about, which is the best and the worst part about YouTube, is that it can very easily get you confused, because everybody has a different opinion. Sometimes based on what they do or how they do things, they say this works best or that works best. And you're left thinking, okay, I still don't know what to choose. So my tip would be, stick with Cricut in the beginning, unless you have like a plethora of cricketing friends who can give you advice and give you little rolls or just tester pieces to try out. To figure out what suits you best. But it is just, it can make you feel like you're going crazy. And I certainly felt that way, because I'm the kind of person who, I'm a perfectionist by nature. So I want to get it right the first time. I don't like making mistakes, even though I'm going to tell you that making mistakes is going to happen and it's natural. It's cringe. Like, it's cringy. But at the end of the day, no matter what vinyl you buy, you're going to come to learn in time what works best for you. But it is true what they say. Not all vinyl is the same. Okay, and ironically enough, I gotta open this thing. Ironically enough, tip number 2 is you will make mistakes. So, as I said a second ago, I tend to want to avoid that, making mistakes, making errors. It's cringy, hate it, makes me angry, just want to throw everything out the window. But, and I did pretty good for my first few projects. I did pretty good. And then one project snagged me, and I not only wasted HTV, but I wasted an entire t-shirt. Now, again, as you research and go through this industry and go through the products in this industry, you realize it's not cheap. So to waste an entire t-shirt, oh, 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 I didn't want to touch my Cricut for probably 2 weeks straight because I was just fuming mad. I mean, I laughed about it. And since then, I've made other errors, specifically with HTV, where I ended up putting a really great logo, but I did not have these. If I can give you any tip in this video, if you take away anything, if you're going to be doing shirts, do not assume you can eyeball it. Do not assume measuring tapes are enough, because I thought I had it centered. And when I finished my project, it sat here to here. Another whole t-shirt wasted. Logo image was excellent. So good. Just not centered. And with this shirt, did really good. I eyeballed this one and got lucky. But then I was cleaning and got bleach on it. Don't know if you can see that, but there's bleach on it. And I refuse to get rid of it. And the shirt that has the off-centered logo, I keep it as a reminder that you can mess up and you can ruin things. So tip number 2 is, no matter how much you research, no matter how much tips you write down, no matter how many YouTube videos, TikTok hacks, quick guides, you're going to mess up. So be prepared and let it go. Okay. So I already have the logo figured out. I was going to go with Smart Iron-On, but I just have been noticing that it peels quite easily. I don't know if it's me or just my bad luck, because I really want to get good at HTV, but I find I don't have the greatest luck with it, which is why I bought these. So I decided I'm just going to use Will this be enough? Oh no. Okay, we're going to have to check. These little measuring tapes are really good for, measuring out how much you need. But again, when actually trying to do something, I would definitely say make sure you have extra, and make sure you have the right tools you need to measure things, because eyeballing the center of a shirt, maybe it's because my eyes are not straight. Maybe that's why I thought it was straight, but it wasn't. Who knows? I don't know. Tip number 3 kind of ties in with tip number 2, and that's wasting vinyl hurts. Again, we talk about, trying to preserve what we purchase and not overly, because you get excited when you're about to start Cricketing, and I don't know about everybody, but I started buying things before I opened my Cricut. I asked for it for Christmas, knew I was getting it, and still bought a bunch of stuff, and then was overwhelmed. That's a whole other story. Was overwhelmed, and then finally started, and then realized how terrified I was to ruin something, because it would mean I would waste vinyl. And then I did. And as I said a second ago, it hurts. Oh God. Oh God, it hurts. It hurts so bad. I was pissed is not the word that can explain how angry I was for wasting vinyl. Whether it's iron-on, whether it's, a smart iron-on, they all hurt equally the same, because it's still your money down the toilet. Swish in the garbage. Gone. Hurts. Gutted. Hated it. So I'm going to use a shirt that I have bought a while ago. It is 100% cotton. Yep, it is 100% cotton. And I am, like I said, just putting a little lyric, if you will, from the movie King Richard. Beyonce created a song for it, and I'm obsessed with the song right now, even though it's kind of old at this point. And I'm obsessed with this particular line. So I've decided I'm going to make a shirt, because this shirt has been sitting here because I've been terrified to waste the shirt and terrified to waste vinyl. As we just previously discussed, yes, I have a problem. Definitely definitely have a problem. Tip number 4 is trying a new blade can be intimidating. Something else I can say for sure is, again, I was like, ooh, I want to try this. I want to try that. And I bought the items, and not gonna lie, they're still in a box in my drawers behind me. My Cricut little stand I got there, because kind of intimidated to use it. I bought a foil blade, and after that cost alone, I'm like scared to waste it. So, you know, again, if you are coming into this industry as new as I am, then the idea of trying a whole new blade when you're still screwing up regular vinyl projects, terrifying, intimidating. But, and I'm going to take my own advice because I'm going to try this, do not purchase things if you don't intend to just try it. Almost assume that the first materials you buy for this project itself is going to be ruined. Prepare yourself for that. Assume that that's going to happen, because it likely will, and it will hurt. And I'm also telling myself this because I still haven't tried my foiling blade, but I'm going to, and you should too. Okay, we've got our mat. Cool. I'm going to tell you tip number 5. Tip number 5 is choosing the right font will haunt you. What do I mean by that? Just like with everything else in the Cricut world, there is an abundance, and that's the nice word I'm going to use, an abundance of fonts. And then if you're like me, don't be like me, and you get crazy and you go on Etsy and you see that you can purchase fonts, and then you get a nice little kit of 100 and something fonts, and you upload that to your Cricut, then it's even more difficult to choose the perfect font. You can see here I have a combination of really fine font and super cursive. So difficult. I love the way cursive looks, but the idea of weeding it and getting it cut where it cuts properly, not easy. Basics. Probably stick to your basics. Find bubble fonts, or if you're going to use cursive, use it, make sure it's big or one single line. But doing super teeny tiny fonts, bad idea. If you go back to my very first HTV project where I first unboxed my my iron-on, the font I used was like this big. Worst idea. And then I used glitter. Who told me to be so ambitious? My very first project. I digress. Point is, and I'll link that video in the cards above, but it came out okay, but weeding it, I needed a light bright. I needed like all of the lights, and didn't realize that, obviously. Struggle City. And it was like cursive, like curly font. Not even cursive, but cursive enough that it was difficult. So choosing your font will haunt you. If you can almost like select a few that are your favorites, stick to those. Because I am a crazy brain where I'm always changing my fonts and trying out different ones, which means sometimes I'll spend an hour trying to mix a basic font or like something like Times New Roman with something cursive and make sure that it's big enough that it cuts well enough, and so on and so forth. Because then what also happens is if it doesn't cut properly, if the blade doesn't go through it, if you're not familiar with the material or the way the font itself cuts, you waste vinyl. You waste vinyl again. And we don't like that. Okay, so you see this font, oh boy, it looks okay. I'm gonna risk it, girl. Yeah, okay, this looks like it's done all right. God help us all. Anyway, tip number 6 is not all Cricut hacks work the same for you. I, again, learned the hard way that not everything you see on TikTok, not everything you see on YouTube, not everything you find on Instagram, not everything you Google, not everything you find on Pinterest is going to work exactly the same for you. So when you see those hack videos or those little blurbs, note them, save them away, file them away, but take them with a grain of salt, because I've watched YouTuber after YouTuber debunk other YouTubers' hacks. This, in fact, doesn't actually work. This product didn't work as well for me. So it's almost like YouTubers are doing the work for you, because they're saying, hey, I've actually tried this and it's not actually, or it didn't actually work how I thought it would. I'm actually going to put that back where it was. So you have to be prepared to try things at your own risk, because it's not going to be, the same for everybody. And that can be very annoying. It can be very frustrating, but it just is what it is. And everybody loves to do a hack video now, or a little quick TikTok hack video, two ways to blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to try that. And then you try it and you realize, oh, okay, that's not going to work for me. But I mean, as you do things, you learn quickly. That's the case in most situations. It might have worked for them, but it ain't necessarily going to work for me. See, like this. This is a perfect example. I bought this cutter, and I find it gives me more trouble than not. Move now. Okay, so I've got a little bit of black HTV left. That is lovely. I'm just going to put that over here for now. Tip number 7. You are going to want everything all at once. And what do I mean by that? You're going to want the Easypress. Or now they have, I got the Easypress, was it 3 or 2? I got the Easypress 2, and literally 4 months later, they announced the Easypress 3, and then they announced the AutoPress, and I was just like, oh, okay. So that's what we're doing. I was TO'd. I want the light bright, because, weeding is not easy in a not well lit room, and you are going to want all the things. You're going to want all the tools. And some of them are actually really useful, so you're going to want them. You're going to want everything all at once. But again, I say, because this particular hobby is extremely expensive, you don't need everything all at once. And if you are kind of crazy like me, ask for things either around your birthday or Christmas, because then people will be willing to, help you gather some of the things that you just are dying to get your hands on. And that might be the easiest way to do it, because you become obsessed over all of the things. You're like, oh my God, I want that. Oh my God, I want that. Oh, I want to have that. Oh, that would be so useful. I want to get that too. And you become a little crazy, and you start to spend money a little crazy. And for projects where 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to screw something up, are you sure you want to invest in all that money? Now, if it's like things like tools, then that's not the worst thing in the world. However, you can get a lot of stuff that's very similar to it on Amazon. And it's one thing, the positive thing about the YouTubers is that they will share with you, I got this from this brand. You do not need to get this from the Cricut brand, because the Cricut brand can be super expensive. One thing I will say is, so far I'm mostly a fan of Cricut's HDV, Smart Iron-On. And that's just been my experience so far. But that's my point. Like, I'm also not jumping to try out this brand and this brand and this brand because it costs money. And if I don't know how quite to use it, or I'm taking on a big project for my very first time, which I don't recommend. You hate to waste material, but you're going to want everything all at once. You're going to want all of the all of the Cricut tools all at once, but you don't need them, one thing at a time. I was pretty slick because I got the Cricut for Christmas. I asked for the Cricut for Christmas and my husband got it for me. And so I asked my family to get me Cricut materials. I'm like, help a girl out. And they did. So I got quite a bit of Cricut stuff off my list. And then Boxing Day, I went shopping. Now, again, don't suggest, but if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do it this way, try to utilize, be smart about your timing. Utilize deals. Like, they're there for a reason, and you can get things for great prices if you just are patient or plan properly. What else? Oh, I was saying, yeah. So I got the Cricut for Christmas, and then in January, it was like boxing, whatever you want to call it. It'd been like a boxing month at this point, and they were selling an Easypress bundle. And I had been looking at that because I knew I wanted an Easypress like soon. And that's very contradictory to my tip. But anyway, I was watching the Easypress bundle, and it came with a tool. It came with paper cutter, a whole weeding set, a whole tongs, this, all of this. Came with a scraper. It came with 12 rolls of, like 6 or 8 rolls of HTV. And it was like normal retail price for everything included would have been $600 and something Canadian, which is huge because that's a big investment. And I ended up getting it for $260 Canadian. So that's over a $300 and something savings. And to get it all at once, I ordered it on the Monday and it came the Friday, I want to say. And that is one of my best, I think, wins of this whole Cricut journey so far, was investing in that bundle. And that's the one thing that is good about Cricut. If you are obsessed and you want to get everything all at once, if you cannot resist, then Cricut has deals often. They have sales often. So if you just keep your eye on the website, subscribe to the newsletter, of course. Now, this is not sponsored. This is just me telling you how I save money. Then you will likely see a deal at some point that benefits you. Wow, this came out really well. I'm super glad. Okay. One thing about iron-on is it does not play. I find it's easier to weed and more enjoyable to weed than like vinyl. I think that's why I became obsessed with the Easypress so early on. Oh, these are all tying into what I'm actually doing. That's pretty cool. Weeding is therapeutic, but also stressful AF. So, as I just explained, weeding can be really difficult, especially if you are new to that particular vinyl material. If it's a brand you're not used to or anything along those lines, then weeding can become like hell. Again, I made the mistake of trying glitter the very first time I decided to try iron-on, even though your tester is glitter, right? This is what you do as your first HDV project. Came out great. Love it. Then I didn't want to, I decided, let's try it on a teeny tiny level. Worst day of, I think my eyes were hurting at the end of that video because I was like, and I think I fast forwarded through it. I don't even know if I showed myself weeding it. Probably not, because I literally was struggling. And at one point, because I didn't know how much pressure was required, one letter didn't actually get cut, and I had to like do it myself because I didn't want to fail in the video. Yeah, so weeding can be lovely, you know, can be lovely, but it can also not be. It can also be an actual nightmare. Everyday iron on. I love this website, this heat guide website. It just makes life so much easier. Yes, I am using the mat. Okay, so we are going to turn her on. 315 at 30, which is my usual setting. We're gonna let it warm up. Okay, so if you're gonna do weeding, and you're gonna do weeding on a large scale project, or when I mean a large scale project, I mean like many things or something small, this is where I say light is absolutely important. Do not assume that there's enough lighting in your room, because even with my vanity mirror behind you there lighting up my space, I think I had my phone down. At one point I think I went to get one of those little lamps we had that you could just kind of punk, and it was really bright because I couldn't see a damn thing. But on the off occasion when I'm weeding something and it's, you know, simple or big or HTV, I find not that difficult at all and very enjoyable. So, you know, be prepared to think you're going to need glasses after all that, because, well, you just might. You just might, with the way iron-on can really screw you up. I don't know what... Am I supposed to mark my shirt with this pencil? This came in the kit, and I'm like, first of all, who sharpened this? Second of all, should I mark this on my shirt? Here I go, being ridiculous. Okay, so yeah, it's on the shirt. It looks like it would come off easily. Okay. Well, we'll see if I need that. So, yeah, I really do enjoy weeding. Even when I find it's difficult, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this sucker. Like, I got this. But it's not always fun. And it can give you a friggin' headache. So, just prepare yourself for that. Stressful? Be careful. Add as much light. If you think you have enough light, add more. And then you'll be fine. And if it's going to make it hot, because this plus light, very hot. Turn on an AC, turn on a fan, open a window, something, because you're going to need it. Okay, so this is excellent. Yep, I'm gonna heat it up for 5 seconds. Cool, cool, cool. I'm just, you know, hoping not to screw this up. And that takes me into tip number 9. Failing is discouraging. This has kind of been a theme of this video, but honestly, it is. It's really discouraging, especially if you take the time to do research. You really figure, I can avoid that. I can avoid wasting material. I can avoid screwing things up. I can avoid feeling completely discouraged. And then you screw something up. And then you're discouraged. And then you don't want to touch anything. And then it just sits here and collects dust. You know, you're like, I'm going to try something else for a minute. Because why not? I swear, first world problems, it's almost like you've got too much options. But failing will definitely make you feel like a total loser, total bum, Don't even want to think about it. And it will make you want to give up everything. It will make you want to just say, no, definitely not meant for me. Definitely not something I want to do. So from armpit to armpit, we got 3. Okay. Okay. That's how paranoid I am of screwing this up. Also, is the shirt level? Because that could cause a problem too, right? Center is one thing, but if it's centered and lopsided, like, what are you doing? Just give up then. I think this is good. Sorry, I gotta focus for a second, guys. Cannot risk screwing this up for the millionth time. Okay. This is center. Okay. Yeah, so other side. You're going to want to quit. I get it. And I say quit for a little bit and continue watching videos. Continue watching tips on how to do things, because you missed something. You might have missed something, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to There's nothing wrong with wanting to try to avoid it, because, while it's like natural, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. So take the time off you need, lick your wounds, get over yourself, get over it, and you will be fine. I think it's because there's so much space on this side that's throwing me off. And I'm not going to have it. I will not have anything throw me off kilter. It's funny, as I'm telling you to just, be prepared to fail, I'm also like trying my damnedest not to fail. Because who wants to? Who wants to? I don't. I really don't. Not again. Because it will discourage me. And then I'll take another friggin' month and a half break. Not YouTube, but like of creating things. I think I took like a 2-month break from creating things. Okay. This is it. Don't get scared now. I'm going to take... I think I got it. I think I got it. Okay. Okay, let's do it. 30-second countdown. Let's focus on this side. Yeah, so it's going to be discouraging. You're going to want to break things. You're going to want to destroy things. You're going to just want to say, take it all back. I suck, clearly. I'm done with this. I give up. Don't. Allow yourself to feel that feeling of failure. Live in it for a moment, only for a moment, then let it go. Remember, everybody is screwing up. And someone out there is probably screwing up way more than you. And then move on. Move on. So I've been trying to figure out what I wrote for tip number 10, and I cannot figure out my own writing. So that's funny. It looks like it says theories help everywhere, but that doesn't make sense. This is what happens when you're just jotting down notes and you decide, okay, I'm just gonna, scribble down some ideas and then record a video, but don't know what the hell I wrote. This is gonna cool. Gonna let that cool for the next little while. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you the finished product and share my last tip with you once I figure out what that is or come up with a whole new one. Okay, and the final product, here we have it. It says, "This is hustle personified." Now, ironically, this does still not look perfectly centered, but it's an improvement and I'll take it. And with that, tip number 10 is there is help everywhere. One thing that I highlight throughout this video is that there is videos on TikTok. There are videos on YouTube, including this one. There are videos on Instagram. There's Pinterest stories, YouTube stories, Pinterest pins that, you can pin and save for later. There is help everywhere. Cricut itself has a guide, different tips and how-tos, quick start tips. So there is help everywhere. And while you can system overload yourself, slow down, take your time, focus on one project at a time, one, let's say even machine at a time, and enjoy the process. Because at the end of the day, this is something that you've obviously dived into because it's a passion, something you feel like you're going to be good at, something you want to learn more about, something you want to get into, and you are crafty at heart. So embrace the failure, embrace the wasted material, embrace the crooked logos, embrace the wasted vinyl, embrace the weeding, embrace all of it and enjoy it, because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be about you enjoying yourself. And those are the things I've learned since my first few Cricut projects, including this one. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what your favorite tip was, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.